Hey guys, it's Elias. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. You are watching here the session 1 of Grid Life Track Battle 2 at Summit Point Shenandoah. This is prior to me crashing. This is actually pretty early on in the day. I crashed way late in the afternoon, so we've got some racing to do. Now in the previous video, if you guys watched that, I started to get comfortable with the car. It is the first session, so it's time for me to get comfortable. So in this video, you'll watch me work my way up to setting a fairly fast lap time. It's not the fastest of the day, but it is my first session. I'm getting comfortable here. So I let this Miata pass me and watch what he does. As I've told you guys before, this is a very bumpy track and it's very unforgiving, so yeah, you don't want to go too sideways like he did. But the reason I let this Miata pass me is because he looked like he knew what he was kind of doing here, and I don't know the track at all, so it's always beneficial to let somebody kind of pass you and you kind of follow them along to see what they do and learn the track that way. So I figured I'd let him pass, see what he does, and I'll try to learn the track from him. I've already come around like 2 or 3 times, so I'm starting to learn the lines, I'm starting to know where I need to go. So at this corkscrew, I've taken this turn much better in the future, but I'm still learning it. So as you can see, I moved the steering wheel once. You're supposed to set the steering wheel in one place and then use the throttle and the brake to dance around and get around the turn. It's my favorite part of the track, that corkscrew. Here we're heading into the ski jump. The one thing I do wrong here is I lift. I should not lift. Get a little bit airborne, and then we head to the carousel. Now again, I'm not using the carousel yet. I'm watching what other cars are doing. I'm kind of warming up to it. To set a fast lap time, you pretty much do need to use that carousel. So at this time right now, I'm about halfway through this first session. I'm getting comfortable with the car. I'm enjoying everything that I've done to it, all the modifications, the extra camber in front helps me with better turn-in and a little bit less understeer. And K-Tuner Stage 1 with Tuner View. That's how you can see the bottom right-hand corner. That's that little video. So this turn right here is where I crashed, unfortunately, later on. And right here is the start-stop line, and I'm going to try to set a fast lap time right here. I won't talk too much. I'll let you guys enjoy my attempt at a fast lap time. Here we go, boys and girls. First time using the carousel. I'm saying hi to Jane here, and I'm crossing that line. I did a pretty good lap time. So I had a 146.5, which is 0.5 seconds off the next fastest street front-wheel drive, which is the Integra Type R, driven by Les. And that was a pretty good run. That'll put me in 4th place in street overall, which I think is pretty good. First time at this track, first time really at a time attack track battle. I've done a lot of track days, I've done a lot of autocross, but I've never really done a track battle or wheel-to-wheel racing. That will be also happening sometime soon. So yeah, we did pretty well. As you can see, I avoid the carousel this time because this is my cooldown lap. You kind of go a little bit slow. I'm still kind of also learning the track and getting the lines right. And I'm not going full attack mode. I'll reserve that for the lap after this one. So now as we head into the next hot lap, I have to get these last few corners right. Even now, this is my least favorite corner, that one we just passed. It's actually where I crashed, if you guys saw that crash video. So there is one thing I want to note here, and that's driver fatigue. So driver fatigue is a real thing, and on this track specifically, you can get really tired really quickly. I mean, a lot of the guys that go in, they go for 10 minutes and they have to go pit because it's just a very tiring track, especially if you don't have power steering. A lot of the cars that come here don't have power steering, and there's a ton of turns, a ton of bumps, a ton of braking points, a lot of things to make sure you do correctly, and everyone gets fatigued. Now, throughout the day there are 4 sessions. I missed one of the sessions. We are currently watching the first session. In between the second and the 4th session, I actually take the time to change the brake rotors of the Type R, which made me very fatigued as well. I was, running around trying to get the right tools and things like that. I think overall this is a very fun and challenging track, but it's also very tiring, and it definitely plays into the crash that I had at the end of the day. I was extremely tired. I probably should have stopped before I had an accident, and it caused a little accident. It's something for me to learn. Here you see me kind of avoid the carousel. I want to see if I can set up a fast time without the carousel. As you can see, I'm not really a big fan of not using the carousel. I'll be using the carousel from this point forward, on my hot laps at least. Now here you can see already I started to not pay attention too much about my hand positioning. That means I'm getting tired. Now I stay on the track for as long as I can because I do need to learn the track, and there's nothing better than practice and track time to learn a track and to learn your car. So I stay on it. I keep pushing as hard as I can. If you know anything about me, I always push as hard as possible. I try to get to the limit of myself and the car and what I'm doing. I try to make the best of it. So I don't really stop. But I think in the future I need to really pay attention to my fatigue and my level of tiredness, because it does play into your reaction times and things like that. So definitely something to think about in the future. Here I try to set another fast lap time, but it's really not my fastest. Right now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to practice my lines. I take the corkscrew here very well, my favorite turn here. Look at all that yummy grip. You set the steering wheel in one direction and you kind of dance with your left foot and right foot. So I left foot brake a little bit, and I use the right foot to kind of keep the car balanced and dance around that corner. I love that corner. So here we're heading into the ski jump, and this is where a Corvette, a C6 Corvette, kind of spun out and very, very much broke itself. So I'm trying not to do that, and as I get more practice with it, I'll get better with it. But I think I'm doing okay with it. I think for front wheel drive, you're not supposed to lift. Now, as you saw there, I kind of avoided the carousel. I'm still learning the track. I'm not trying to overdo it in my first session. I know I have a whole bunch of more sessions to go to prove myself. I think I set a pretty fast lap already. So I'm just going around and trying to learn the track as best I can. Now we're heading into the dreaded turn that I crashed at later on in the day. And I did that pretty well. I'm trying to get that turn as fast as possible. I don't lift. I never lift during that turn, but I do kind of do partial throttle. And I think the biggest thing I should have done is I should have throttled out as much as possible. But we'll get to that in my crash analysis video. I've been doing a lot of analysis. I've gotten some professional race car drivers to weigh in on what I could have done better. I'll be sharing all of that with you guys soon. Let me know in the comments if you're interested, just to know exactly what happened, why it happened, and how to avoid it. I'll try to cover as much as possible, but if you leave me a comment, I'll for sure be able to answer it for you guys. Happy to do so. So heading into the corkscrew and this front wheel drive chassis, I set up for an early apex. I set my steering angle, and I pretty much dance around with the accelerator and the brake pedal. So I left foot brake and I used the right foot to accelerate, and I kind of dance around the turn. I love that turn. So this is towards the end of the session. I know it's the end of the session. I'm not going to be setting any more fast lap time. So again, I'm just trying to learn the track. I don't want to risk that carousel yet, so I kind of avoid it. By this point, my tires are all greasy, and the engine is actually kind of hot as well. You can see the engine coolant temperatures before and after. So before the radiator, it's at 221. After the radiator, it's at 210. That goes to show you I definitely need a radiator upgrade. I'm gonna let Team Blue by You. That's right, that's Team Blue by You. Those two very fast Mustangs pass by me as I kind of cool down. I wave at Jane one more time, and I kind of, alright, time to pit in. Alright guys, let me know in the comments what you thought of this first session. Did I make you guys proud? I hope I did. Stay tuned for session 2. That'll be up very soon, and we'll finish up this track battle series and crashing my Type R series very soon as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.